Hello everyone, it's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me, and today I got my coffee. Yeah. Since the whole thing that happened was our first time actually having tea on set. So, how are you doing, BC?
I'm doing a cheers.
We have our mug. Freddie.
Yes,
Freddie gave us our mugs. Thanks to Freddie. He's always there for us. Thank you,
Freddie,
for the mugs. How are you doing, BC?
I'm doing amazing. So, I have good news.
Oh, great.
I have been appointed an ambassador for Zurich Elite Business School, Switzerland.
Woo! What does that mean, please?
Okay, so it's a business school.
Okay.
It actually ranks number 4 among 25 business schools in the whole of Europe.
Oh, fantastic.
So they have this special packaged online MBA for the future of Africa. So they are making this MBA very practical so that, you know, when we come out of school, we still need to learn some skills for us to be employable. Right. But with this MBA, it's so practical, and industry professionals are the ones going to handle it. So you know the area you want to focus on once you come out here equipped to get the job and start running the business.
Do that.
Yeah.
When I graduate to me, I think I'm going to register.
Yes, we should start together.
So, yeah, I'll come through you.
Yes, as an ambassador, I get to give you some form of scholarship, so you don't pay the complete fees. Yes, that's the perks of being an ambassador.
Yeah, I'll definitely sign up. I'm enjoying the school season. You know, I think I want to stay in the practice for a while.
It's good.
It's good. It makes you.
Nima, Akasha, today is your show. Say you know, today is for you.
We are here
Today's show is for Nima.
Hey,
you will know in a few minutes, don't worry. We'll tell you why. But how you doing, Nima?
Let me start with the birthday shout out I didn't do yesterday.
Okay.
Today, his name is Mirijan Olajide Olatunji from his mom. She's saying that she's wishing him all of Allah's rahmah, barakah, sekina, and happy birthday. Yesterday I couldn't log on, but thankfully I did today. And it's also my Miriam. You know that my small Miriam. Her mom's birthday today. Allah, may Allah bless you, grant you long life, sound health, and abundance of wealth. You know, she's now my role model in business. She's done business for years, and I just keep understudying her and learning from her. I'm going to expand to that dealership level that I'm going.
Nice. You know, you're talking about this your business, this the freezer business. What's that one? The cold room.
The cold room.
You don't want to do that one.
No, that's another Zibiri's idea.
Okay.
But I'm going to
you need to. This is 2021. We're going to make money. We're going to make some money this year.
We are here now doing rice and the agent banking and. So I'm going to just queue now.
Well done. We'll support you in any way you need.
Thank you.
Mariam,
I'm good. I'm fine. Today's my bestie's birthday, Nene, today.
Happy birthday. I didn't know you had a bestie. Oh.
I thought I was the only bestie.
Let me even tell you about this bestie. When I met Nima, my sister called Nene and said, Nene, there's one girl in that TVC that's trying to take your place because you are so alike. You are alike in many ways.
Okay,
so,
I love you.
So, Nene, happy birthday. It was also her mom's birthday yesterday. Hajia Medina today. Happy birthday. You know, when they say pious woman, that's what this woman is. She's always praying and very prayerful for her family and all of us that have become family through Nene. So, happy birthday to both of you, and I wish you both very, very good success in 2021.
I'm trying not to be jealous. I'm just trying.
It's good to share.
I don't know how to share like that.
So Tokwa is in Dubai.
Yeah. Who's in without us?
She's enjoying herself.
That girl.
And she's documenting for us. So I think I'm enjoying Dubai as like
I was on her page yesterday. And I was watching. Tokwa was even dancing on the desert. I was like,
she's seriously dancing.
Did you watch the one that she was in the bus on her way there? I had a good laugh. She was screaming and shouting.
I want to go back today.
She was so scared.
It's a good way to start
Wednesday. So today, as I said earlier, we're going to be focusing on satellite town. You know, Nima has been on this matter for years. The governor of Lagos State is working towards helping to decongest that place. The federal government has tried. But today we're going to put a searchlight. We're going to call people and let Nigerians call us and let us know what they're going through. Hopefully the government can get involved better than they've done in the past. But first, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with The Nation. Labour LCCI 100% hike in power tariffs into hurt economy, according to them. PTF, Christmas festivities pushed up COVID-19 cases. APC has this North-South office rotation pact, says Oshoba. And FCMB MD steps aside over alleged unethical conduct. Oh, I didn't read that story. Interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm glad I read it. So, based on the board's decision to investigate this, the MD, Adam Noor, the one that is popular now on social media for having broken a marriage, is willingly stepped aside while his investigation is going. So he's gone on leave, and the family of the woman has, given out a press statement saying.
Don't worry, we'll talk about it. It's our topic tomorrow.
No, I'm just saying paper on.
No, your view, have you been holding it? We are waiting for Thursday. Don't worry, we'll discuss it tomorrow.
So the federal government is saying, the federal government...
The major headline?
No, not the major headline, about COVID, Christmas activities. So on January 4th, we recorded 1,204 infections, that's COVID-19 infections, in one day. That is a huge and a high number, and the government is saying that it has a lot to do with the Christmas activities. So it's appealing to Nigerians, please be compliant and also, be vigilant. But they're saying that the federal government has approved the establishment of at least one oxygen plant in each state, to help with life support in different hospitals. And then the private sector against COVID has also pledged to supply 100 cylinders of oxygen daily until the end of March 2021. PTF is saying that we still have low testing, even though we have 100 laboratories, but testing is still low, so we need to just be vigilant and help ourselves.
Okay, well, I was going to take the APC chieftain, Oshoba, who was saying yesterday that the APC has the North-South Pact, where South consists of the Southeast, Southwest, and South-South. And it was reminding Nigerians that the APC constitution actually includes restructuring through federalism, resource control, and local policing. However, they had agreed as a party to put in their manifesto. From the manifesto, it went to the National Working Committee, was approved by a committee, and then it went to NEC for the final stamp. Just from between NEC and getting to National Assembly is where the problem is. So Nigerians should know that the APC actually had the plan for true federalism in their manifesto.
So
but
unfortunately,
it's not that it got lost. Between NEC, after the NEC has approved
so what happened
to National Assembly, we don't know. Say somebody might be sitting on it, according to him.
So why did they fight it if they actually
He said they are fighting. According to him, he said they are fighting.
It yet. This is the first president the APC has presented to the country, and it's still there for 8 years.
Okay, so we'll test it after this happens.
Okay, the Punch. TUC threatens showdown as NEC denies 50% hike and blames inflation. Man 45 rapes 13-year-old daughter in Ogun. Ex-Finbank Emmy Nwosu jailed 3 years for 10.9 billion naira fraud. Lagos deploys 1,250 constabulary officers to boost community policing. FG expects 42 million COVID vaccine doses, says NPHCDA. And foreigners without COVID-19 certificates will lose their visas, says NIS. Okay, human angle?
Yes, human interest. So the a 45-year-old man, Akonji Oluwaseyi, had been arrested for allegedly raping his 13-year-old daughter. So this particular girl was, an apprentice in a tailoring shop. So he went there and took permission that he needed the daughter to come and fetch water for him, only for him to get home with the daughter and raped her. But the girl luckily went to the police station, reported, they took men and arrested him, and he denied it initially till the daughter came out and he couldn't deny it anymore. So the daughter has been taken to the hospital for further testing and treatment and investigations.
Where's
Lagos State? Yes.
Finbank?
No.
Okay, constables, yes.
Lagos State have added 1,250 constables to the police force in Lagos, saying that their job is to assist the police in combating insecurity here. So I checked up what constables are. They're supposed to be local policing. They're deployed to the areas where they live, like community policing. So
please remind me, what's the job of the LSN? Is the Lagos State Neighborhood Corps? That was what they're supposed to do.
Now.
Collect
We just need more.
Intelligence.
We need more policing.
They give them
But we
bicycles.
actually do need more policing.
But why are you calling them something else? Why don't you just make it another?
These were trained by the police, and they were, pushed at the police college. So I want to believe they are under the police.
Okay.
Community police.
Because IGP was there.
But the deployment of, yes, it was represented.
And he told them that.
But the deployment should even focus on areas where they have more.
But I'm sure they would. But I told them that they are not police, so they part of the number one cardinal of the police is self-discipline. No, he has told them that they are not mainstream police. He made it very clear.
They are just there to support.
They are just there to support the mainstream police. Yes, you're going to talk about Finbank?
Finbank. So former MD Okenwosu of Finbank, the defunct Finbank, and a few other former colleagues, Dayo Famoroti, Njuma Ocholi, and Agnes Ebudike, have been sentenced by the Lagos State High Court for on 26 counts of stealing and illegal conversion of monies close to about 10 billion naira, more than 10 billion naira. And this case has been in court. It was brought by the EFCC in 2013. It was appealed and was quashed and thrown out. But it's been brought back, and now they have been sentenced. Just that a few of them, apart from Okinwosu, who got 3 years, the Agnes Ebudike got 6 months community service. They all have different years that they are serving. So.
Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune, electricity rates adjusted by 2 naira to 4 naira per kilowatt, says NERC. NSAS, Lagos pays forensic examination of Lekki Tollgate. Why Southeast governors boycotted the Igbo partisan meeting, says Umahi. COVID-19, 731 batch B NYSC members test positive, says PTF. Okay, which story are we taking?
Yes,
let's start with the Lekki.
Okay. Yes, Lekki. So the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry has said that Lagos State is actually paying forensic experts about 25 million naira to examine the Lekki toll and to also check the neighboring areas. So they are going to be looking out for bullets, live bullets, shells, and blood in some parts of Lekki. So that they would have started it, but they had an issue with the Lekki Commission that for the toll, they were not concession, they were not allowed to get into the building, but they were able to open it yesterday, and it's going to commence. So hopefully, let's
move on to Daily Sun. We'll take the electricity in the Daily Sun. New Year shocker as FG approves another 50% electricity tariff hike. Lagos deployed 1,250 constabulary officers to kickstart community policing. 2023, Southeast leaders ask APC PDP to cede presidency to zone. And Polytechnic non-academic staff begin warning strike. Yes, major headline.
So yesterday, news that was spread around that power has been increased by 50% was killed by the NEROC's spokesperson. He says that the increased tariff is not over 50%. Rather, it is rates for service band A, B, C, D, and E that was adjusted by 2 naira to 4 naira per kilowatt to reflect the partial impact of inflation and movement in foreign exchange rates. Obviously, there's been an increase if you put forex in between this, because the dollar and the naira don't play a fair game at all. So of course that increase will reflect in more cost for people. So
my worry with the way the media cover this story is because we, as media people, as media and journalists, we have a responsibility for social development. We have that responsibility also to partner in any community we find ourselves. So our job is not to aggravate. Our job is to inform. So when you come out with front pages, petrol hike, increase, we're going to resist it. Those are things that aggravate the policy. Yes, these things happen, but there are reasons for it. And if you explain to Nigerians, it can, because now that NLC is coming out, all the major unions are coming out, everybody's making it as if somebody just woke up one morning and increased petrol.
Imagine, let's just, the facts are that because of forex, inflation, because of the cost of dollar and other costs, inflation and all that, this is going to go up. The issue is that in Nigeria, things go up, but they never come down. So if dollar changes tomorrow and things normalize, are we going to be discussing the drop in prices? You told me that tomatoes was 15,000 naira per basket. You now told me again it's now 1,000 naira. About 1,000.
So it's a fallacy that things go up and never come down. We saw how tomatoes now like pure water.
Tomatoes is perishable.
Yeah, I'm just telling you that we should not continue to fuel that fallacy that, once it goes up, it doesn't come down. There are certain things that come down. There's another story I wanted to take that was important. Southeast leaders ask APC. I enjoyed the meeting. I wasn't there.
You read it.
But I read about the meeting that the key leaders of the southeastern leaders, consisting of Senate Chief Whip Dr. Orji Uzokalu, Ike Ekweremadu, that's the former Deputy Senate President, amongst others, signed a communique to all the major political parties. And this is what they're saying. They're saying they're trying to get all the parties to ensure that they field a southeasterner for 2023 presidential elections. And this is their reason. They say our well-pronounced presence, that's the Igbos, an investment in every nook and cranny of the country represents the firmest and most practical demonstration of faith in the unity, peace, and continued corporate existence of the country. For where man's treasure is, there his heart lies. Saying that the Igbos have invested across the country and they deserve this opportunity to become a president. So I like the approach. Yeah. I like the civilized approach in having a meeting where you're appealing to the various parties, which I think was great.
Yeah, I want to also add to that because you know there's the discomfort also for some people in other parts of the country that feel that maybe the Southeast has an agenda. But I like what they also said here in the communique, which says our emphasis is that we seek a Nigerian president of Southeast extraction, one that will work to further unite and develop every part of the country. So this is not a Southeast president for Southeasterners or for Igbos. It's someone from Southeast, but for all Nigerians. Fantastic. Is what they are asking.
So we like this conversation. We like it. However, what I did not like, however, is the pushback from the Southeastern Governors Forum, saying that they didn't invite us. So we totally disconnect ourselves from that meeting. You see, if we begin to act like that, that's the division Nigerians see. And that's the problem. So there was a meeting like that. Even though you're not invited, I think it was a meeting that was held in good faith. So you should now have a meeting and have a meeting. Yes. So when Governors Forum say they did not invite us, so we are disconnecting ourselves. That is division.
Is to doubt this belief that we are divided.
Exactly.
Immediately once that happens, everybody will feel, take ownership of the country because you know a part of you.
We like this civilized approach.
And
this is how
that saying that one president comes is for that region. Our constitution exists to guard against all of that. So your rights does not get abused just because another tribe is involved.
Mr. Fashola has said it, and even the APC chieftain has said that according to the APC, it's north and south consists of the three various zones. So let's also do the needful. According to Nigerians. That's all we can take on front page review. When we come back, we are now focusing on satellite town. So if you live in satellite town, this is your show. Tune in, send your message to Facebook, Twitter. Unfortunately, our phone lines are still not working yet, but we'll get it on very soon. But please send your messages via Facebook. Let us hear what you're going through, and let the government understand what they can do to make your lives better. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So the last 20 years, the residents of Satellite Town in Lagos State have been battling with the rampant erection of high inflammable and volatile tank farms within an area that was gazetted to be a residential area. Now, according to an expert, it's like a ticking time bomb. If care is not taken and urgent steps are embarked upon, the outcome may be catastrophic. Now, joining us on the show is the chairman, Satellite Town Forum, Governor Micheal Imitini. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
You can also reach us on our Twitter handle at TVC Connect. You can hashtag your TVC so we can read your tweets. You can also reach us on Facebook, hashtag TVC Connect, and TVC Connect, hashtag your view. So you can join the conversation on Facebook too. Okay, so I think we'll be having also Mr. Ayodeji Bakare, who is a renowned safety expert, to join us on the phone very shortly. But in the meantime, I would like to start with Governor Imitini. Governor Imitini.
Yes.
Now, Satellite Town, we all know the issues.
Yeah.
And it seems that when the presidential task force was inaugurated and the governor got involved, there will be some kind of a sanity that has been restored to that. Could you give us an update so far from the time the presidential task force was put together, constituted, till now? Has there been any kind of improvement in your area?
I want to first of all sympathize with you, the issue that happened in TVC.
Thank you.
That is very important that we know, because this station has been our focus that has been so much in our agitation.
Yes.
And back to your questions, I will tell you that it's 0, not 10. They have not done anything. as a matter of fact, the situation is getting out of hand, that we need to address that situation. If we don't address the situation, I'm telling you, like the experts told us, that within 5 years, within from now to 5 years' time, that satellite time might not be in existence. Whoa. Because the fact is that the tank farm, not just only the tank farm now, they've introduced a gas plant. Wow. And these are situated within the same place. I don't know why Nigeria were like this. I don't know why DPR should allow it. I don't know why Federal Ministry of Environmental should allow it. That a tank farm in a small parcel of land, you have over 5 or 10 of them in that place, and now you are introducing a gas plant. Wow. That is, I've never heard of that. And so it is really ridiculous for any government, reasonable government, to have allowed such a thing to happen.
Let's go back history. How did Satellite Town even become a commercial area? Was it ever planned to be commercial?
Not.
Or, you know, what happened exactly?
Not at all. Let's back to history a little bit of it. In the year 2009, personally, I've been in Satellite Town for 35 good years. When I entered Satellite Town as a young man, my house rent was 40 naira. 40 naira. A room, 40 naira. And so nobody will tell me the history of Satellite Town. That place is a residential area. It's not at any time a mark for commercial or industrial area. Now, as at far back as 2009, there was no tank farm at all. The whole place was quiet and every other thing was in order. Then at the year 2012, we saw the emergence of tank farm. And we have 5+, that is 5 tank farm that were there. Then, and the houses as of that time, because people were building.
Let me pause you for a second. For those Nigerians that don't understand what a tank farm is, what is a tank farm?
Yes, it's a storage tank whereby petroleum products, the diesel, the PMS are being stored.
Yes.
Yeah. So those things, as of that time, 2012, we have about 5 tank farms. And those 5 tank farms, from the distance between them and the building were just 230 meters. As of that time. And then at 2013, we have about 16+ tank farm already there. With all this, we have been shouting right when they started it.
Yes.
But because of the fact that Nigeria is a corrupt nation of those people that are there, they took money. I'm sure I can say it because no Federal Ministry of Environment or DPR will agree that a tank farm should be set in a residential area.
So in 2012...
I'm coming. Then on 2013, we have about 16 of them. Proximity as of that time is also 230 meters. At 2015, we now had 43. 43, for you to know that they are now encroaching into the environment. So much. And as of this time, now we have 50 meters. Just 50 meters. At the year 2019, minimum of 50+, because I'm telling you now they are building more. You know, the worst part of it is that I will also give you history of what happened about fire outbreak 3 times. I will also tell you about that. So we have 50+, and this 50+ now, we have the distance from there to the community now, to the resident is 50 meters. So you can find out that they have now been encroaching seriously, gradually, by taking over the whole place. Now, look at what happened.
Okay, I'll let Miriam jump in for a second. Let me go in a quick break. We'll come back and continue this conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So we're still with Governor Imitini on this issue of satellite town. Miriam had a question. Go ahead, please.
So when the community, satellite town community, noticed the tank farms being built, could you, just for clarity, could you tell us the specific things the community did or the specific help that they sought and who they sat down with? Was it just people coming out and just making noise on the street, or did you sit down, did the community come together and sit down formally and officially with those in charge about the building of tank farms in that area?
Yeah.
The reason why I ask it is
yes.
many times when you ask officials, they say, well, if you don't make it formal, people are just talking on the streets, but you have to make it formal. I would like to know if you did that.
We wrote a letter.
What year
that
did
was
this start?
2000, they started 2009, 2010. So at that time, when we heard about it, actually they said, initially, the people were deceived that they are going to use that place as a residential area. That is building of estates and all that. But they now saw a different design of tank farm that came in. So immediately we were against that. We wrote a letter to Lagos State, as a matter of fact, for them to stop such a this. But, you know, along the line, you know, like I told you, our Nigeria factor way of doing things. They said, who are those people that are talking? And nothing, they didn't take us serious, as a matter of fact. And they went ahead doing whatever things they feel that they can do, because the power belongs to them. You and I that is here, we said, okay, we vote. By the time we vote, then they put them in the power.
So
the power belongs to them.
So at no point?
At the point is that, one, environmental impact assessment was not even conducted. So if they had come up with environmental impact assessment concerning building of tank farm in that place, we would have also attended and make our inputs about it. Even with the one that we attended, that we're fortunate and we fought to get into it. Concerning it, that one is, has to do with a container terminal. Okay? That one that we forced ourselves into in Atikoi, they still went ahead and do it. So there is nothing we do that they will say, okay, we listen to them. Okay. It is not in this country.
All right. Let me even ask you, because I know that I think it was in 2019, you, with the residents of Satellite Town, gave the government 5 years ultimatum.
Yes.
And one of the things you mentioned was that you people wanted them to have a fire service.
Yes.
There, you wanted them to expand the roads.
Yes.
So far, have you seen? Have you people been in talks with government to? Because since 2019 now, we just have a few more years to the 5 years. Yeah. Are they doing anything in line with the agreement?
Thank you so much. They have not done anything. Can we imagine that kind of? We have over 50 tank farms. And each of the tank farm there, one alone it contains 7 million liters. That is of petroleum products or whatever. One tank farm alone, one alone is 7. And they have up to some that contains about 12 million liters.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay? Then if those tank farm now should, in case of any fire outbreak, in any of them, that we split out, there is no way they can contain it. Because the fact remains that they have not even built a fire station up to this moment.
Not one.
Not even one. You can do your forensic, you can do your investigation. How do they call it? Not forensic, journalism investigation. Please, go and do it. You cannot find one. If you see anyone, call me a liar. You can't find any fire station in that tank farm. And they will be, this year, making it 9 years now, they're operating. Because they started operation fully 2012. Up to this moment, they took us to a place and they said they are going to use this place as a fire station, that they are going to build a modern fire station. That was what they told us. I said, okay, fine. We went, we inspected the place. That was last year. No, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, 2018. 2019 went. 2020, and now we are in what? 2021. They have not done it.
So, Governor,
for 9 years now.
Correct me, please.
Yes.
I noticed that government actually planned the coming of the tank farms because 2009 was when the Mara Road was commissioned.
Yes.
So if they planned a single lane road, you know, for that kind of thing and continue to expand without expanding the, such infrastructure around it, you know, what, or do they have plans, maybe in your interactions now as the chairperson of the Satellite Town Forum, meeting with agencies of government, do they have plans? Have they shown you a framework where they say these roads, this Mara road will now have an expansion or dualization or even extra, inter roads to the tank farm so to create alternative for the residents? Do they have such plans in the works?
Yeah, they came up, they told us, there's a meeting we held with the tank farm, DPRO, and then the community, which I was equally privileged to attend that meeting. And that meeting, they promised that they are going to dualize Mawa Road, which is a single lane. that road, by the length of it, is about 7 meters. And each of the tank is about 2.4 meters. That is the distance. So if you have 2 already, by approximation, you have 5 meters occupied by the tank itself alone. So you only have 2 left for the people. So in the actual sense, for them to have, first of all, to plant tank farm in that kind of a place, what they would have done first is to dualize the road. But they didn't do that. They still walk on the normal road, which is meant for the community, just for a smaller car to pass through. That is what is there. They've not done anything. Now, last year, again, let me bring it before you, that to your notice, that last year, they told one of their representatives, who is the secretary of the Tank Farm Association, I don't want to mention his name, and that we should do a kind of, there are roads which we ask them to, if they can do it, at least it will assist the people movement and all that, alternative route. All these are adjoining streets and all that. We did all the calculations. After doing all the calculations and everything, till today, nothing has been done.
Hey.
Nothing. So the only road that you have in Satellite Town is Damawa Road. Finish. And that is where everybody is going through.
Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. All right, so let me play the devil's advocate a bit. And the reason is because as policymakers, there's something called the greater good. Because the product we're talking about is something that approximately 200 million people benefit from, PMS, diesel. This is like the major revenue source of our country. So as a policymaker, you're thinking, okay, this satellite town community, they are a percentage, just a slight fraction of the Nigerian population. So as a policymaker, I would say, would I rather relocate the entire community so that Nigerians can have access to these tank farms for the use of PMS. So in your view, do you think that's an option your community is willing to consider? And has the government even preferred the solution for your community?
In short, frantically, I would say no to it. See, we are talking about human being. You should, first of all, you have to look at the lives. You see, recently I think I read it also. American came to this country and rescued one of their members that was in captive. Just only one soul. Now we are talking over how many thousands of people lives.
What's the population in Satellite Town?
Satellite Town, I'm not exaggerating, we are close to about 1 million.
Okay, so 1 million people over almost 200 million Nigerians who are using this product.
I am coming, yes. I'm coming. Because why I'm saying this thing is this. That area, don't forget that, Morayo, that place is a residential area. In the first place, DPR has already, they told us in one of the outings that it was a mistake made by them for citing that tank farm there. It's a residential area. So why on earth you want to move the people from that? People have settled in that area. We settled. For how many years now we've been in that place? Now, the closest that, do you know that those houses were built, some of the houses in Satellite Town were built 1976, 1977? Some, those are closest, and owners occupier by private companies like Shell, NNPC, Nitel, and other ones, other private individuals, estates that are there. Then how on earth? Is it only in Satellite Town that they have water? Why can't they go to Lekki to go and build it there?
But it's not close to the ports. Let's be realistic here.
Okay, that Atlantic estate, Eco-Atlantic, is that place not big enough to contain tank farm? Why didn't they use that place? Why must it be Satellite Town?
All right, so let me come. Okay, go ahead, follow up.
So, of course, Satellite Town community is part of, I mean, you must have representatives at the National Assembly.
Yes.
So, I'm wondering, what levels of interactions have you had with your representatives?
Yes.
What have they done? What commitments have they made and kept? What resolutions have they made and kept? Or haven't kept, and why?
Concerning our representatives, especially from the Federal House, National House of Assembly, the Senator Yayi, which is popularly known. In short, we have not fed any part of that man. I don't know whether it's representing anybody in that place.
Jeez.
The only person that actually who has intervened somehow, not just because he did it also for, I don't know whether for a purpose, but for one thing he has done, which I know he has tried his best, is Honorable Ogene Ego, Emmanuel Ego, representing Amu Odofi. Okay? Because at a point where we were shouting and agitating and all that, with the letters we wrote and all, we were invited to House of Representatives. Okay. We had a meeting.
House of Assembly.
The House of Assembly.
House of Representatives.
Yeah, House of Reps.
House of Rep. Okay? And we have actually gone to this House of Rep in Lagos, House of Assembly also in Lagos. Okay. Because almost all the ministry in Nigeria, as far as this issue is concerned, we have touched all of them. Okay. I don't know of any ministry that is not aware of this agitation, even to the presidency. So Ogene at a point now move a motion. Yeah. A kind of, that is oversight, that which they said ad hoc committee on the need to relocate tank farm in a residential area of Ijegu, Kirikiri, and others. Yeah. Okay?
What year is this?
And this was done on the 22nd of July last year. Okay? I was there, and that happens to be my birthday. Thank you very much for appreciating me on that day. Okay. You understand? I cannot forget that. Okay? So we went there. We told them, they said, okay, they've heard about all the agitations we are talking about and all the challenges and all that. They called us for a meeting. We went there. They saw reason with us. They were so glad.
What has been, because of time, what has been done? Have they done anything?
Nothing has been done.
Okay, that's the point I wanted to get.
They came for oversight. Okay. The oversight they came, now they turn around things that we should not cohabit with tank farm. That is what they are saying.
Wow. So let me go to the issue of flooding and drainages. Because I remember the last time you were on the show, it was a major issue that we talked about, and there were promises made that they would look into it. Has anything been done concerning the drainages? Has it been built? Has it been reorganized? Has it been sorted out? Can you tell us what has happened so far from the last time you were on the show?
Yeah, I want to really be sincere on this. I want to thank TVC, our sister Anima, and every one of you also, because you brought the Lagos State Minister of Environment to the show on that day, and we happened to meet with engineer Shodende. Engineer Shodende was here with us, and he promised to take up our issues, and which he did, and also the issues that were highlighted concerning that Codit Gota in front of Uriade LCDA. I think they compared the army people, army engineer who were doing working for the tank farm. They now did it an open Gota. Wow. So at least there is a little respite. Though they've not done that of NPF, NGI, and then that of NNPC. They've not done that. Okay. They only ended it at a place they call Learning Field Junction. But we are still agitating, telling them that, look, it has to get down to Finanja bus stop. That is when that place can be free.
We have to wrap up with it. Yeah, let me let you finish.
Okay. Then, I want to thank Lagos State. Lagos State has come up with, this is not time from Lagos State. They've come up now addressing the drainage system in Shalom Estate, Divine Estate, and Juvenile Estate. In short, they are doing a great job. They've started it, but it's slow. Let them hasten it up because the rains are coming. Because so from the little one they have done, I think by the time it rained this year.
So your primary concern is with the federal government. Lagos State is trying to make things.
Yeah, Lagos State is trying to make things better for us.
All right, so at least we can give them that. Yeah. Okay, unfortunately we have to wrap up that because we have to bring in security experts on the show to tell us exactly what the security challenges are in that area. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Discussing earlier about tank farms being located in a residential area. Okay. And some of us had talked about the issue of the greater good. In your view, what's the best approach to ensure the safety of this community, even in the midst of these tank farms?
Okay, I would want to start with the government. Okay. According to Section 14, subsection 2B of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, it says, and I quote, "Welfare and security is the primary purpose of government." Do we feel that welfare? Do we feel that security? Maybe, maybe not. I don't feel it. Then let's go to 138. 138 states that, and I quote, the president shall not hold any executive position during his tenure. Who is the Minister for Petroleum? 147 also talks about the Senate, what's it called, confirming ministers. Was he confirmed? Now, I want to talk about a poet, World War II. Pastor Martin Niemöller, 1939 to 1945. He said, and I quote, they came for the socialists. I didn't speak up because I was not a socialist. They came for the trade unionist. I didn't speak up because I wasn't a trade unionist. They came for the Jews. I didn't speak up because I wasn't a Jew. Now they came for me, there was no one left.
Yes.
Now, camera, I am speaking to the Lekki and the Victoria Island residents. They have come for you. Don't worry. You see what happened in Apapa and what happened in Satellite Town? They have come for you. Now let me answer your question. Now, you said what can they do or what can we do? Honestly, I don't see anything that can be done except the long-term goal or the long-term aim is for those tank farms to be relocated. Now, let's talk about how did they get their permits? What are the requirements involved in getting your permits through the DPR, Department of Petroleum Resources, under the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation? Fine. You need to do what's called the EIA, the Environmental Impact Assessment, and you need to do what's called the SHE. That is the Safety, Health, and Environment Assessment, which I call the PHA. Were these EIAs done? Maybe, maybe not. We have on record on national TV where they said just a few of them did the EIA, and from very reliable sources, they said it was shabbishly done. Definitely the PHA wasn't done. The PHA is a process hazard analysis. My apologies, I'm going to be using some technical jargons here at times. Pardon me. Now, this is to prevent tank fires, tank explosion, or unwanted releases of toxic materials to the environment. Now, the environment. Let's talk about when these materials come in. Because that pathway, according to NIMASA, it's not, has not been approved to have those huge vessels coming around that area.
Okay.
So now when you bring in this, this petroleum product, because in Lagos, in Nigeria, that tank farm that you see there constitutes about 30% of all of the petroleum product that's being used in Nigeria. So let me give you this little bit of analysis. So when the current president came in, it was about 75–80% million liters of petroleum that was being, gasoline that was being used. Then, okay, they closed the borders. They said they were not going to do subsidy. It dropped to 40 to 45 million. Now, 30%. So at every point in time, you have at least 15 million liters of gasoline in a residential area. Do they want to kill us? Now, when the material comes in, only God knows how these materials are being transferred into tank farms. And then you have this material that goes into the soil, it goes into the waterbed, the aquifer. That is what you...
Ayodeji, let me pause you for a second.
Okay.
And I'd like the ladies to jump in for a second too. But listen, I was saying earlier about the greater good.
Okay.
Because this is a product that every single one of us use in our homes.
Okay.
Now, you're saying that it's coming to Lekki. Now, where we have the Dangote refinery, for example, now,
okay,
currently it's not within the residential.
Okay.
But what we found with the Satellite Town is that well, Satellite Town was there before the tank farms.
Absolutely.
In this situation right now, they found a deserted area to give to the Dangote refinery. But there's a possibility that developments will catch up with that area at some point. So the question, therefore, is what should government put in place to ensure residential areas or development doesn't get to where the Dangote refinery is? That's one. Two, the fact that Satellite Town and the tank farms are together. What can be done? Can we evacuate the entire Satellite Town? Okay. Is that possible because of the greater good we're talking about? And I'm playing the devil's advocate here so that we are all talking from the policy angle and the people angle.
Okay, thank you very much for those beautiful questions. Now, as regards the refinery in Lekki, now, I do not know if the blast radius analysis was done. I do not know if that was done, but I can speak for Satellite Town, for example. We've done the blast radius. It tells us that when it happens, because it's going to eventually happen within 5 years, when it happens, you're looking at about 2 to 4 kilometers, at least 4 kilometers for the blast
radius.
Okay,
first.
okay.
Yes.
Blast radius means that when there's a certain explosion, this is where you feel the full impact. So we're looking at 4, 5, 6, 7 kilometers. For example, when we had the Ikeja bomb blast the other time in 2001, in Ikeja they were feeling it in satellite town.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that they do the blast radius. What about when when development comes in? There's what's called the right of way. When development comes in also, now I want to speak a technical jargon here, and I want to talk about the DPR also. I hope that they did a very good, they did their job, because it seems like they didn't do their job in satellite town. Now, if you look at their policy, they said that tanks between 150 metric tons and 300 metric tons, that the distance should be, is it 30 meters? But the tanks that are in satellite town, for example, are between 7,000 to 12,000 tons, metric tons. So that is times 40. And according to, this is a technical jargon, pardon me again, National Fire Protection Agency 30, which is under the RAGAGEP, which is recognized and generally accepted good engineering practices. It says when you have tanks that are between 2 million to 3 million, at least you should have about 185 foot, 185 foot, which is like maybe like 60 meters, 70 meters, kind of. That is a way. But then, if you do not have all the safety measures in place, such as inert gas, that is nitrogen, to ensure that air is not coming in, then you have to multiply that by 2. So that's like 370, and 370 being like 120, 130 meters. So that is just alone to address the distance. So when you're talking about what can be done, that is the first step. That is the first step. And then begin to look at your blast radius analysis, your thermal heat radius analysis. I tell you, when it happens in satellite town, people's skin are going to peel. The first 2 kilometers, people's skin are going to peel. They are talking about 4 kilometers. They are going to really feel the thermal heat impact. So I hope that they did all those analysis. Now, when you come to satellite town, what can be done? Should they move the community? Community that was there since 1960. Community, where they bomb me, and let me speak Pidgin English, where they bomb me.
Where will you move to?
Where I go? Where my people go? No, now.
May I follow?
So they can move to tank farms that are 1,130 meters?
No. The tank farms shouldn't even be there. It's a residential area.
They should remove them.
It's there already now.
So should we remove those tank farms that are 130 meters?
Okay, let us be realistic here. Let all of us be realistic here. If they move these tank farms from this area, right here, right now, one thing is going to happen. What's going to happen to the banks? The banks borrow these people money, almost $1 trillion.
That's not our concern.
I know. What I'm saying is that, Nima, let us be realistic. I understand it, but let us be realistic.
So we're looking at the economics of it.
No, what I'm saying is that you look at the economics. 30% of all the gasoline that we use
from that area
is coming from that area. So if you take it away, you know what is going to be the repercussion on the Nigerian community and society. However, it still needs to be taken away. Because when you say what are the contingency plans, dualizing roads, what's the meaning of dualizing roads? What would dualizing roads do? You fix the roads, those tank trucks are being there, ravaging the roads. So as you fix it, you ravage the roads.
So let's talk about, we've had the Adosoba explosion that happened recently, because I don't care where the investment is coming in. What you're investing in is going to take lives. It's putting people's lives and livelihood at risk. So let's talk about how that, when it happened, the magnitude of it compared to what might happen, compared, to what is existing in satellite town now, what might happen compared to that. And with the fires that keep happening, how frequent, as an expert, as a safety expert, would you advise that, based on the number of fires and the one that happened on Christmas Day that we'll see, what would you advise should be done immediately to save lives? Should we have them, or, is there a way to manage them there?
All right. Thank you very much for those questions. The first concern that you talked about was the Adosoba incident. For people that do not know what happened in Adosoba, it was called, I think it was in early March, it's called the vapor cloud explosion. That's what happened there. I can explain that in further details, but maybe that's another talk for another day. Now, what happened in Adosoba is going to be child's play compared to what's going to happen at that tank farm. And looking at it from that angle or from that perspective, we are sitting on a ticking time bomb in that area. For example, where people are aware, like you pointed out, where people are aware that there was a fire incident that happened in Satellite Town on Christmas Day at 3 a.m. where properties of over 30 million naira were damaged. Do people know about that? And you see, all these fire, tank explosions, all these things, they are fine. They are very important. However, the environment and health impact is the most important one. It is the killer. Nigeria already ranks 198 out of 202 in life expectancy, which is 54 years and 3 months. In Nigeria alone, our unemployment is about 40%. That is between 15 and 65 years, and over 50% of unemployed or underemployed. Look at our inflation rate year on year from 2015 to 2020. It is double figures, over 50%. There's a point I'm trying to make here. 7 out of 10 Nigerians are poor. 5 out of 10 Nigerians are extremely poor. Now, you now bring tank farms and tank trucks and all that into residential areas, and you know what happens? They've killed all the micro, small, and medium enterprises in the country. Not in the country, sorry. In the community. It's all killed in all those areas.
We have very little time. Let
me ask you, because I want you in plain words, in plain terms, to explain to us some of the adverse effects of the health hazards of the residents in that area. Maybe if we have an understanding of what these people are going through, it will help us take up this fight better.
Okay. Now, I'm going to talk about different things here. Now, when a tank truck goes past you, do you know what's inside? You don't know. No. You don't know. But per standard, they should have a sticker, a safety sticker that says, hey, it is flammable, it is irritable, it is corrosive, it is cancerous. You don't have it. No, we don't. Now, that is another talk for another day. Now, you made mention of what are the kind of like chemicals and all that stuff. Now, I'm going to break your heart here and break the hearts of Nigerians here. Nigeria imports the dirtiest petroleum products in the world. We import it here. You have an EU limit for sulfur, an EU limit for pollutants and all that. Nigeria is like 200 and something for diesel, and you have like 50 something for gasoline, more than the EU limit. These things come from the Netherlands, they come from Spain, they come from Belgium and all that. Now, the health thing here, watch it, very, very interesting. Gasoline itself has benzene in it. And then you also has H2, it also has high sulfur content, the one that comes into Nigeria. So when you put it in your generator, you know, that's one of the issues that we have that causes pollution in the country. You put in your generator and all that, it burns. It burns what's called H2S. You get H2S. And this H2S is very, very, very deadly. There's something called, another technical jargon here, IDLH, immediately dangerous to life and health. The limit is 100 ppm, parts per million, which means that 100 out of a million parts is going to kill that human being. So that's what we're talking about. Benzene in itself is a blend that goes into gasoline, and it's also a solvent. I don't know if they store benzene in there, but we need solvents in Nigeria for our manufacturing industry.
What does it do to the people that inhale it?
It is carcinogenous, yes, it is cancerous, it is a slow killer, it is a slow death. Now, people are in their homes, they'll say, oh, it was the fumes of the generators that killed these people. But really, did they break it down to analyze, okay, what were the chemicals that actually did these damages? I can assure you here, is that H2S, is that benzene.
Okay. Yeah. All right, go ahead, Mary.
Yeah. So let's just say government is stumped about what to do, you know, going forward. So they found themselves here. People will tell you, it was not my administration that started it. This is what I meant, and I don't know what to do. Are there instances of things like this happening in other countries, and do we know how they handled it? And maybe we can learn from that.
Okay, now, I'm going to go a little bit philosophical here. Now, there is a fundamental problem, and the fundamental problem started during that Industrial Revolution in the mid-19th century, and Africa was not carried along. So all of these incidents are things that have already been seen by the Western world, and they've already fixed it. And then now, it's not trickling down to Nigeria. I'll give you a typical example. I'm going to talk about Lord Lugard here. Now, we founded oil actually in 1906 and not 1956 in Olebiri. And when that happened, we were getting about 4,000 barrels of crude oil per day. But they killed it. There was a Canadian man that got killed because they wanted to stop that industrial revolution coming to Africa, coming to Nigeria especially, because if you see crude oil there, then definitely, oh yes, there's going to be, what's it called? There's going to be revolution, there's going to be industrial revolution going on in that area. So they've already taken care of all of that, but we can take cues from it. Now, I want to talk about the economy a little bit. What can we do about Nigeria's economy? There are templates out there that we can take. Let's talk about China in 1979. They did what's called the decollectivization of agriculture. They sent everybody to the farm in 1979. They fixed their monetary and fiscal policies. Fiscal policies are talking about government taxes, government tax exempts. You're talking about, what's the other thing? Government spending and government borrowing. They fixed their monetary policies such that they open a free running market economy. And also, very importantly, their MSMEs. They try to improve on that, give them more money and all that stuff to take care of them. There was a point you made a few weeks ago on your show, Morayo. You said, why is it that the Nigerian government spends all this money, gives people money so that they can help their businesses out because of COVID? But we all know, 70 to 80% of that money goes into consumption. So what happens with the remaining 20%? So that's why I say I'm going to go a little bit philosophical. There are templates out there. What can we do? Let us abide by the international standards. If you are watching me DPR, we speak the same language. If you are watching me NNPC, we speak the same language. And I want to thank you guys so much because lately they've been fixing their policies. When we began to go the technical route with them, because I speak their language, they speak my language, we know what we are saying. Then if you go on their website, start seeing updated August 2020, September 2020, November 2020. Let me give you a shocker. That policy that they used to cite tank farms, they actually removed it from their website. In September, October, November, they removed it. We're finding monetary spirits. Yeah, it's the thing that's my community. Okay, when I came back home, I've been away for about 9 years. When I came back, one of the first things I did was, how can I give back to my community? I went, and that's why I implored other people to give back to their community also. I went to where I stay, and what can I do as regards the water thing? And also, we organized a seminar as regards tank farms also. We organized a seminar as regards tank farms and all that, and sensitize the community. And now the community is really knowing what is really going on with them and letting them know that you can make a change. If you're watching me, you can make a change. They are human beings. Speak to them, speak with them.
All right. In Satellite Town, you know that when these inflammables are transported to tank farms, there's always gaseous pollution in the environment. How does this affect? Because I wanted you to land on Obiajilu's question, and I think you missed it. How does this affect the lives of those who living within? Is it possible that the gases end where the transmission happens, or it expands into the community?
Even those outside
those
the community.
living within inhale, whatever you inhale, how dangerous is it to our lives? And what alternatives should government have to this?
Okay, now Nigerian air. We're talking about the air pollution here now, right? According to a CNN poll in 2016, Nigerians breathe in about 94% polluted air, less than 6% already. These materials that go into the air and all that, they go somewhere. We breathe them. And these things they have different levels, different grades. Because I'm going to tell you, Nima here, I honestly do not know the materials that are being transported. I know gasoline, diesel, ATK, DPK, whatever it is, I don't know honestly. So I don't know how dangerous I can say, okay, yes, these are the dangers that it causes. However, we know these things damage internal organs. We know they are not going anywhere. And we know that it's killing our people. Because if you look at the mortality rate in that area, it's going up. If you look at the kids, they are having a brain drain. If you look at it here also, the women are having deformed kids. Yes. If you take a poll right now.
Not in Nigeria.
No, I mean in Satellite Town. I mean that our area. I mean that's what I'm talking about. I know right in that tank farm area. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about abroad, our community. If you look at that area, you'll be seeing different terminal illness springing up. I can tell you that we are actually the ones that are bringing down our life expectancy in Nigeria. We are the ones bringing it down.
We have to run, unfortunately. Thank you very much, Mr. Bakare. I really appreciate your thoughts this morning. And we're going to bring you back because we're not going to just stop this conversation. As long as Nima is on this show, we'll continue to be reminded that community needs attention.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I have to ask you a personal question.
Personal question. Okay.
Are you single? Because the way you are speaking, I'm feeling this guy, and I have many single sisters. Are you single?
From tomorrow.
Are you single?
No comment.
No comment. But there's nobody. Is anybody there?
No comment.
Nobody's there. Don't mind
because what you love you.
No comment.
But I just wanted to add that a lot of the reps that we have at the National Assembly and wherever
take us back to the serious
let me just finish. You discuss with him after when you will be able to comment on that. If they were as exposed to information as you are and educated, and if even people in the community understand what they go through and what they face daily, probably we would...
Possibly. Unfortunately, I have to run. You can't answer that question.
No,
that's all we can take.
I was asking you a question.
That's all we can take on the show. I really hope you're single so I can hook you up with something. But have a fabulous day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.